For today's video I have JOYOR S10Z, an electrical scooter with two 1000 watt motors, hydraulic disc brakes, and that has been sent to me by kickbuying.com. For a double motor scooter it's not too heavy, it's 28 kilograms or almost 62 pounds. The things I'm excited the most about is the hydraulic disc brakes, 1000 watt motor in the front and 1000 watt motor in the back. So the thing I'm the least excited about before I even try it is the suspension. So it has a swing arm suspension in the front and in the back, but as you can see it doesn't have the typical shock or the coil spring. And normally the suspension of this type, while it works, it makes your ride better, but normally it has very little travel. The scooter has adjustable handlebars, so from the smallest riders to someone taller, the height looks pretty decent and comfortable above my hip. What makes it a little bit less comfortable is the angle of the kicktail. It's way too steep and uncomfortable to ride in this position for a prolonged periods of time. LCD screen, so it's not the brightest LCD screen, but readable. I don't know how that would be on a sunny day. The user interface is rather simple and you can control everything with these buttons, which is really nice and comfortable. Turn signal indicators on the sides right here, which, by the way, when you turn them on, they blink on your handlebars, so you potentially have a chance to not forget to turn them off when you ride. As the suspension will not provide you too much comfortable riding on a rougher terrain, the scooter overall will get only 3 stars for the riding comfort. I'm shaking. It's rough. So if you look closely at the footage and especially focus on the rear suspension, you will see that it's not actually moving that much. Feels like I'm going to lose my teeth. So this is where I can't go faster because of the suspension. It's so shaking that I'm afraid I will do a mistake. You know what? I think it's an okay city riding suspension. It's not an off-road suspension. That's the thing how I see it. It's okay for rolling anything like this, or jump occasional curb, something like that. It's not okay to go at full speed off-road. I love those brakes. Oh my goodness. When you have hydraulic brakes, the handles are super smooth and normally you can control your brakes, feather them much nicer. Those brakes are amazing. I mean, the control, they are very sensitive to touch, meaning you can, press them a lot but not block the wheels. And even when it's all dirty and messy, if I need to stop quickly, like no time. Some of the best brakes on electrical scooters I have ever tried. I think that fast scooters need to come with good brakes, and this one definitely does. There sits 18.5 amp hour, 60 volt battery pack. What does that tell you? That tells you the scooter will be very fast. Right, so let's do the speed test. 3, 2, 1, go. 30, 40, 50, 51, 53. Well, do you need more speed than that from an electrical scooter? At least I don't. 55 kilometers per hour on the dashboard. It's plenty of speed for me. It's stable enough to ride on these speeds on at least good quality straight roads, so I don't see problems in that. 56. I doubt we can get more. 55. Alright, 56 kilometers per hour on the dashboard. That's the top speed. So as you can see, the scooter is limited to 25 kilometers per hour. If you press plus and minus buttons at the same time, you will enter the parameter menu, and then you'll have to scroll through the parameters to parameter number 10. Change that to 0. Now we have 51. And it's 51 only because I'm in a single motor mode. If I go to double motor mode, it will be 76 or something like that. As a dual motor scooter, acceleration is, as expected, really great. This acceleration is ridiculous. When I say about acceleration, it has a, whenever I hit full throttle, like right now, full throttle, it gives you like 1 second where it takes off like a bit gentler, and then it just goes and accelerates. That gives you feeling of controlled acceleration, while still leaving you with like, oh my god, it's fast. It's a bit difficult to access the acceleration without looking at other objects, drivers around you, so you'll have to trust my saying that acceleration is really good on this electrical scooter. Later I will do drag races against other scooters, but the weather has to improve a bit. So let's talk about the build quality. It's gorgeous. I haven't had a single defect, nothing. It's worth mentioning that the scooter doesn't rattle a part of one cable, even when you ride on cobblestone, which is always nice to have. The handles look okay. It doesn't look like the cheapest ones, and you have all these button controls right here, which is again quite simple. So generally, as you can see, I don't have complaints about overall material and build quality. We're gonna challenge it even further now, guys. It climbs anything, absolutely anything. It's ridiculous. I have to keep the front wheel down. Dude. Right, this is like super fun scooter to ride, guys. As you can hear, I'm really impressed with the climbing abilities of this scooter. I think you can climb any normal hill that you will find in your area. Right, let's see. Can we climb on the long grass? Up the hill we go. My battery shows red now. Oh, the suspension is the suspension is not great, but acceleration and climb is insane. Absolutely no problem. Let's talk about off-road. The scooter can ride basically anywhere. The only downside is, or two downsides actually. So one is that suspension, well, it has a suspension, but it's not that great for off-road. So going over something rough, you will struggle for control a little bit. And the second one is the front mudguard is not like existent. So you will all be sprayed and dirty and after riding in mud. So that's the only two downsides. Other than that, it has a shit ton of acceleration to bring you up the hills over a softer terrain, and it has pretty okay off-road tires, so you have enough of grip. It's a bit sketchy, but so only because of this lower performance of the suspension, I would rate off-road a bit lower, but I would give it like 4 stars nevertheless, because if you need to go through any rougher path, it will bring you there. It's just with less comfort, you know. Very interesting rear fender design, where the fender is installed from one side of the scooter, so there is nothing on the other side whatsoever, just a gap. So when you look from the right side to the scooter, it looks pretty cool. When I looked at this fender design, I thought that it will be spraying over the sides as it is so narrow, but actually the rear fender was quite okay and my pants were not that dirty when riding in wet and mud. But if you look at the front fender or mudguard design, well, it's weird and it's absolutely inefficient. So I'm getting sprayed up to my belly all the way through. When I come to work, it's not acceptable. This scooter is not good for riding in wet weather just because of the spray. Maybe the decision of folding handlebars to not have these pins at the front of the bar. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So normally on scooters with folding handlebars, there are, like pins right here that fixate the position, and on JOYOR you only have the clamp. So in order for the handlebars not to be going down all the time, you have to really tighten that clamp. If you are a lady or a child, it might be too hard to open it. That's the only issue I have. And the last one is the folding mechanism. I'm not the biggest fan of these mechanisms because they are a bit shaky all the time and hard to open. There is a handle, which I can't do. So the thing is that you can adjust how much tension you want on that handle, and the more tension you have, the more stiff the folding mechanism will be, but the more difficult it is to fold it. So as you can see, I have a bit more tension. I can feel my scooter started to pulse right now, so it's like woo, 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 pulsing. And we are, and I see the red light blinking. We are at 24 kilometers mark at the moment, and I was riding full throttle, okay, maybe not full throttle all the time, but aggressively in the city and out of the town, in the mixed way, which well represents aggressive electrical scooter riding style. In plus today is like plus 2 degrees. And with all my winter equipment, I'm weighing around 95 kilograms. I was going off-road, climbing hills and so on, and pushing 23-24 kilometers is actually better than I expected from 18.5 amp hour battery pack with the scooter on two 1000 watt motors. So guys, 839 euros for this beast of an electrical scooter that you can have so much fun on. But if you use the link in the description below, you can actually get a 110 euros discount, of course with the discount code. Don't miss this chance, grab this good scooter while there are all the Black Friday deals and enjoy the ride. Go have some fun.